जय रंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी गोपी जना वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदना व्रज जनरंजना यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय विष्णुपाद परमसुराजकचार्य अष्टोत्तर सतसठ डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तविंद स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय विष्णुपाद परमसुराजकचार्य अष्टोत्तर सतसठ डिवाइन ग्रेस श्री श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की all glories to Assembled Lord Sri all glories to Assembled Lord Sri all glories all Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga Shri Prabhupada की ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ज्ञानतिमिरन्दस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकय चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्त काञ्चना गौरांगी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवसुदी गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुनन्दनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्येश्वरम्। Satudyamano ridurukta tomarair. Satudyamano ridurukta tomarair. Damshtra gragam gam upalakshya bhutam. Sorry, bhitam. Damshtra gragam gam upalakshya bhitam. Todam vrisham niragadambu madhyada. Todam vrisham niragadambu madhyada. Graha hatasa karanir yatebha. Graha hatasa karanir yatebha. Satyamano ridurukta tomrair. Damshtra gragam gam upalakshya bhitam. Todam vrishan Todam vrishan niragadambu madhyana. Graha hatasa karanur yatebha.
Satyamano ridurukta tomarai. Damshtra gragam upalakshya bhitam. Todam vrishan niragadambu madhyat. Graha hatasa karanir yatebha.
Satyamano ridurukta tomare.
Damshtra gragam gam upalakshya bhitam. Todam vrishan niragadambu madhyat. Graha hatasa karenur yatebha.
Saha. He. Tudyamana. Being pained. Ari. Of the enemy. Durukta. By the abusive words. Tomrai. By the weapons. Damshtragra. On the end of his tusks. Gam. Situated. Gam. The earth. Upalakshya. Seeing. Bhitam. Frightened. Todam, the pain, Vrishan, bearing, Niragat, he came out, Ambu Madhyat, from the midst of the water, Graha, by a crocodile, Ahataha, attacked, Sakaranir, Sakarenu, along with a she elephant, Yatha, as Iba, an elephant. Translation. Although the Lord was pained by the shaft like abusive words of the demon, he bore the pain. But seeing that the earth on the end of his tusks was frightened, he rose out of the water, just as an elephant emerges with its female companion when assailed by an alligator. Purport. The Mayavadi philosopher cannot understand that the Lord has feelings. The Lord is satisfied if someone offers him a nice prayer. And similarly, God is dissatisfied if someone decrees his existence or calls him by ill names. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is decreed by the Mayavadi philosophers who are almost demons. They say that God has no head, no form, no existence, no legs, hands, or other bodily limbs. In other words, they say that he is dead or lame. All these misconceptions of the Supreme Lord are a source of dissatisfaction to him. He is never pleased with such atheistic descriptions. In this case, although the Lord felt sorrow from the piercing words of the demon, from the piercing words of the demon, he delivered earth for the satisfaction of the demigods, forever his devotees. The conclusion is that God is as sentient as we are, is satisfied by our prayers and dissatisfied by our harsh words against him. In order to give protection to his devotee, he is always ready to tolerate insulting words from the atheists. I changed this verse last minute. I got a feeling yesterday. The verse before was done by Kalakanta Prabhu. So that's what I felt when I was reading it. Sadidya Manori Durukta Tamarer Nostragragam Gam Laksha Betam Todam Rushan Niragadam Madhyada Graha Hatasa Karnir Yutebha. So I neither have any qualification nor to have any realization. Just as I was asked to speak on this, I speak. So, God is a person. God is a personality. Bhakti yoga is very wonderful because Bhakta is eternal, Bhagavan is eternal, and the process of Bhakti is eternal. Not that we do for some time, then we get the end result and we stop it. In the material world, that's what we do. You all do projects. As soon as the project is done, probably companies give some party and you go to the next one. After some time, you even forget also that you have done this. No, Bhakti is not like that. Bhakti, the means and end, same. The means and end is same. The means to achieve Krishna and end result Krishna, same. When gopis, when Krishna is not there, what they would do? They would chant Krishna's name and see Krishna in the holy name. And they would, because of their intense call, Krishna would come and they would say, gopis would serve Krishna. So God is a personality. So Prabhupada, when Srila Prabhupada wrote this poem on the Vyasa Puja, absolute is sentient. That thou hast proved, oh my Guru Maharaj, Saraswati Thakur, you have proved God is a personality, and thus impersonal calamity removed. So honestly speaking, before coming to Krishna consciousness, it is just a confusion, hodgepodge. Somebody would say, you're God, I'm God, everybody is God. Somebody would say, my country is my God. So there is total confusion. Actually, I used to ask, okay, what is the end goal of the philosophy? One person finally spoke after a long time. He said, it is impossible to go back to Godhead. I don't know where he brought the story, but some story where Sukadeva Goswami, he created another Sukadev, He gave it to his father. Then he had to go through Surya Mandala. And there he has to be fully purified because he was already pure. He had no problem. And he went back to Godhead. For us, it's impossible. I was so depressed just hearing this, But Srila Prabhupada, basis Srimad Bhagavatam, God is a person. Krishna is a personality. He has his likes and dislikes. When somebody glorifies him, he feels happy. Eko bhonam yo vidadati kama. That one living entity, he takes care of all the living entities. But that living entity is supreme living entity. In quality, we are one with him. In quantity, we are different. Bhaktivinoda Thakur writes, Krishna, with his energy, he can create unlimited number of universes in just within no time. But we don't have that ability. Even demigods don't have that ability. So this Chitti Sakti, the Supreme Lord, his energies are unlimited and he keep on growing. Because energies are growing, because he's not different from energies, he keeps on growing. So being a personality, he grows. There's a contradiction actually. Many Mayavadis or anybody in India, many people in the world, not just Indians, it's how can a person is unlimited? The moment you bring a personality, you're limiting him by form. How many of you are understanding my point? Many people cannot accept. The moment you bring a personality, you all see, you're occupying in this place, in this room, temple, or certain space, length, breadth, and height. And if more people come, eventually the temple will be full. So Krishna also, superficially you see Krishna, the moment your form comes, then form means it, so it has length, height, and breadth. And he appears in a particular time span. Then how he is unlimited? I'm honest with it's a problem for many devotees also. We don't speak. But I'll tell you how I was. I had the same problem in the beginning. One day, I was reading 6th chapter Gita. A person who is very accomplished in Ashtanga Yoga, he can create a planet. That's what I read. At 10 power minus 4, Jiva can create a planet. Why not? Why not the Supreme Lord? He can create unlimited planets. God is a person. That's how I concluded actually. My early days of Krishna consciousness. Why I'm telling this is, today I'll speak about faith. Faith is very, very, it's a treasure. Faith is a treasure. It's very important. People may speak philosophy, but inside, somewhere in the core of the heart, some doubts prevail. We'll come to that point. But see, Hiranyaksha, when he was actually speaking bad words, Supreme Lord his heart was pained. I'm honest with you. Every time you say, Krishna, what is impossible for him? The moment you say, Krishna, what is impossible for him? My Guru Maharaj, what is difficult for him? What is difficulty? He can do anything. You're actually belittling them. Why? They also work very hard. No, what is that? Hiranyaksha and Varahadev, there was a battle. It is not like a match that is fixed. There's an intense fight actually. At one point in the future verses, Hiranyaksha knocks down the mace of Varahadev. And Varahadev mace falls down and all the demigods, woo! And then Hiranyaksha says, you amphibian beast, pick up your mace. And he's not talking like like Lord Ramchandra to Ravana. So look, I have defeated you very well. Whole world should know this. And after then all the devatas were so frightened. But at the end, Supreme Lord will go behind his ear and he touches like this, it falls down dead. Yeah. Very interesting. So, so because Hiranyaksha came into existence, because Supreme Lord wanted to fight. That's why he gave a tough fight. It's like really like a good movie, actually, But the actors were, without giving so much money, they acted, so naturally, So, the other party, Hiranyaksha, actually. The point is, so the point is, God has likes and dislikes. One day somebody went to Prabhupada and Prabhupada, you can't do it. Prabhupada said, you are discouraging me. Prabhupada didn't say, hey, look, I'm a commander-in-chief of Lord Chaitanya and I can do anything and can achieve anything. Already I've achieved. Don't you see that? Prabhupada didn't say that. Prabhupada said, you are discouraging me. Prabhupada has feelings, right? Not like, so actually Prabhupada and Mr. Nair, Prabhupada said, that's a good fight. Of course, the problem Mr. Nair could never understand. He was actually dealing with a very, very empowered, pure devotee of, Lord Chaitanya Krishna, So, actually, Prabhupada sent a message, what's her name, through Vishaka Mataji. Tell them not to sign. As the Prabhupada is seeing what's happening in Mumbai, Prabhupada is in Gujarat. She immediately took the train and came next day morning. But yesterday evening only they signed. They signed it, gave it to him. Hey, we cannot fight with this guy. He is very influential. In other words, they gave the property back. Can you believe? They signed it, the document, and so property is yours. Probably must have given little money and devotees took it. Prabhupada knew, so he sent her and she took the train to 12 hours. No, we already signed. Prabhupada said, no problem. Still the property is in our hands. We can fight. Because, India, once you occupy, it is not easy to evict you. That is a temple. So, there is so much of, drama. Again, somebody came, they were trying to demolish the temple. It went up to the altar. That much it was demolished. But then, so many people were involved and finally it stopped. So it's a very intense fight. Sometimes, people don't understand Balramji actually. Balramji does this. He intensifies Krishna's pastime. That is Balram Datta. I don't think anybody watches a movie, hero studies first half, serious study. After second half, he writes exams, he comes home. Mom, I paused in first, I stood first. Then they find one girl, get married, mass movie ends. Does anyone watch that type of movies? Nobody will watch. Yes or no? Yes or no? Nobody will watch. Mother has cancer, no job, father is sick, and he lost the job, villain is heavy, beating. Oh. So likewise here, what is that? God is a personality. Why I'm telling you, why this point has to sink in is, one day I told this myself. On the altar when you are there, in the mind, you say Yeshadup. And he hears that. And then you say Yeshadeep, Kali Krishna. You don't say, how many of you have seen, you all come, my Lord, please give me green card. Nobody says loud. You say in the mind only. But he's listening. Yes or no? He's listening. In other words, whatever we are telling in the mental level, he's listening. Now, if you go other side, what we do? We speak ill of somebody in our mind. We think, not speak. I mean, we think ill of somebody. Krishna sees that. Krishna hears that. When we are hypocritical, even we are not speaking outside. We are only, the conversation is happening in the mind. But Krishna is listening that. We may, of course, fortunately, Kali Yuga, there is no reaction for that, whatever happens on the mental level, but Krishna has watched it. Understand? When I thought myself, I can never make it to Godhead because, all the nonsense only, sometimes on the altar also. So, but Krishna is watching that. Krishna is not just Brahman, a unchanging Brahman. No, but Krishna has feelings. When Paundrak Vasudev came and they sent a messenger, that I am the original Krishna. You give all the mace, conch, disc and club. And Krishna was performing the role of a Kshatriya. He was a king. Krishna, all right, we'll see that in the battlefield. I'll give it. So I'll give it to you in the battlefield. The messenger came back and said, he'll give it to you, but in the battlefield. Oh, really? I never thought the problem will be solved so easily. But King Salva is the Kasi Raj, his friend. No, we should not underestimate him. He's very difficult, very tough person. So he came to the battlefield. Krishna also went to the battlefield. So first time Krishna saw Paundrak Vasudev. He has what is that? I don't know whether he used paper or wooden thing. He was wearing conch, disc and club. Krishna laughed very heartily. He really laughed. Wow. And Krishna laughed and said, then I said, take. He said, give my chakra back. Krishna said, take it. And the Kasiraj said, hey, dangerous, danger, he's giving it. What danger, Krishna? Krishna gives just like that or what? So Krishna released Sudarshan Chakra, cut off his head. But Krishna, because he's absolute, whether you worship him with, whichever way, Prabhupada Goswami says, Anukulyana, Krishna is bhakti, Pratikula is not bhakti. Because he constantly meditated on Krishna's form. Paundrak Vasudev attained Sarupya Mukti actually. Hare Krishna. Though he was, inimical, even Kamsa actually, out of fear, Kamsa meditated on Krishna, he also attained, the same position, Sarupya Mukti actually. So the point is, because Krishna is absolute, when we above 3 modes, still demons attain, what is that? Attain liberation. Actually, the feeling we see more, actually with Krishna also. What is that? What is it? This demon, he comes on the battlefield, he creates a fake, illusory Vasudev. And Krishna, and he cuts off the head of Vasudev. Krishna starts lamenting. And Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes, this is not God, he knows, doesn't know anything. No, Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur writes, this is the height of his renunciation. First thing is, he's a lord of feelings. He has feelings. He's acting, he's performing his Leela. And otherwise, I am Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know this is illusory. And then there is no maja actually, You don't really read. You don't really feel it. And Ravana has taken, and Lakshman starts lamenting. Then Ram starts smiling. That is Maya Sita only. I have hidden Sita here. Don't worry. Let him do whatever he wants to do. One day he'll get bored and give that Sita back. No. This is really Sita, So though it is illusory Sita, that illusory Sita, which Sita is a property of Ram eternally. So the Lord Ram, fought. But then Sita was coming. Externally it appears Lord Ram was rejecting it. Then one lecture I heard, this was Vedavati actually in the previous life. She was 4 feet from attaining the Supreme Lord. Said, no, not in this lifetime, next lifetime. You go down, your role is over. Sita has to come back. So you go that much close to attaining Krishna, but to walk those 4 feet takes some more lifetimes. It is not even, what is that? Krishna means absolute perfection. Things will happen in his way, not in our way. That is very, very important actually. So God is a personality. So if you render service to him, he is very happy. If you render, if you hurt devotees, he'll be unhappy. So some devotee, actually, some people sometimes they say we have to do only things we have to deal with Krishna only. No, Krishna means his energies are included. Krishna means his energies are included. Anyway, what is that? We need to have that faith. But faith, I want to speak a little bit on faith. Listen very carefully. For us to have a firm faith, Sambandha Jnana is very important. What is important? To make progress, one must have a strong Sambandha Jnana, realized Sambandha Jnana. What is realized Sambandha Jnana? First, I am not the body but a spirit soul. Second, part and parcel of Krishna. The Sambandha Jnana should be there. You may be 20 years, 30 years, 50 years senior. If the Sambandha Jnana is not there, one day you'll have a problem in the spiritual life. You should have a realized Sambandha Jnana. And if Sambandha Jnana we are not very clear, doubts will come. When Maya attacks, definitely doubts will come. I used to live in Malaysia. I'm in Singapore actually. Initially I had this problem. My first year. So all these doubts, but you can't speak. Because I reached 16 rounds. Only one person reached before we first. They were all joining 4 rounds, 8 rounds, I was like 16 rounds. But I was, no, what is this? Whom will I tell? Very interesting. So one day I went to Malaysia. And he was just a vegetable seller, initially devotee. So I cannot share with everyone, but I shared with him. Prabhuji, always I would say these people. I never said we. These people in ISKCON. I was chanting, but I have this, doubts. Prabhuji, I'm chanting 16 rounds more than a year now, but somehow I have this problem. And he said, I'll ask you 3 questions. You answer. Do you accept Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead? I said, yes. There is a, Then, do you accept Lord Chaitanya is not different from Radha and Krishna? I said, yes. Do you accept Srila Prabhupada as a pure devotee who will take you back to Godhead? I said, Prabhupada may be a pure devotee, but there are so many pure devotees in India. He said, that's okay. There may be many pure devotees. But do you accept Srila Prabhupada as a pure devotee who will take you back to Godhead? If you stick to the process? I told him, I think, So the 3 questions he asked is just a simple vegetable seller, but it is like he's putting the finger where the problem is, You don't understand the question. Very nice questions, right? This is like so many years. I still, I never forgot him. So the point is, Sambandha Jnana is very important. For that, Sambandha Jnana comes by reading Prabhupada books every day. But Sambandha Jnana also comes by chanting purely. Shravanaman Kirtanam should happen very good, but if we are not fixed on Sambandha Jnana, you cannot drive away anarthas. And it is also a sign your Sambandha Jnana is not fixed. What is the sign? Your anarthas are still there. Anadras are there means you are not fixed in Sambandha Jnana. Understand? Very important. So without that, we cannot be fixed properly on bhakti. Vishnu Chakravarti writes, bhakti is very independent. The way Krishna is independent, bhakti is also independent. Bhakti is given by only pure devotee. Bhakti is given by only pure devotee. Madhyamadhikari, Uttamadhikari thinks everyone is a pure devotee, he doesn't preach. Kanishtadhikari doesn't have ability to preach. Madhyamadhikari is the only one who preaches. Like Srila Prabhupada and Saraswati Thakur, they are like Mahabhava devotees, Uttamadhikaris. But for preaching, they would come down to the Madhyama level. What is Madhyama? Prema Maitri Krupa Apeksha. You know, they have Madhyamadhikari means for Prema Maitri Krupa Apeksha. They have, goal is to attain the love of God. They make friendship with those people who has the same desire to attain the love of God. And they become compassionate to people who are neophytes, and they give Krishna to them, and they avoid envious people. That is the word, last one. Madhyamadhikari discriminates, but Uttamadhikari doesn't discriminate. So by the mercy of a pure devotee only we get bhakti. Krishna can give Krishna does not give bhakti, but Krishna also can give bhakti. Shastra, Bhagavad Gita also can give you bhakti. Reading of Shastra. So by directly getting Krishna's mercy, you get bhakti. A pure devotee can give bhakti, and Shastra, reading Shastra, you will get bhakti. So what is that? When we get mercy, it has to be treasured very nicely. This bhakti has to be treasured very nicely, and it has to be nourished. That bhakti is what is in the seed form. Bhakti lata bija, seed. What is that seed? Seed of transcendental knowledge, sambandha jnana. Who is giving this? Take it. It is in your heart. One lecture I heard, there is no substitute for maturity. What is the difference between a neophyte devotee and a serious, sincere devotee? Maturity. Who knows what to speak? A sincere devotee knows. One time I asked one devotee. So even he told me, without finishing my 16 rounds before 7 o'clock, without finishing my at least 2 Gayatris, I don't counsel anybody, he said. That is great. Because, the moment you get up, you're in Tamagun. Or, if there is if you don't go through on daily basis, the purification, because everyone is I cannot say everyone, at least myself, another than every stage. Somebody comes to you when you're in heavy Tamagun, if you guide them, then the disaster will happen. So, the Bhakti Lata, the seed, Bija, it is in seed form. What is the seed form? It is the transcendental knowledge given to us, and by Guru, by grace, it is there in our heart. And we have to very carefully protect this and nourish this into a lata by watering the seed. What is that watering? Shravanam and Kirtanam. But if you think, I'll start this business and help Guru Maharaj, I'll start this and I'll do that, I'll start this and help temple, you have to really see with what is your underlying desire behind it. Is it growing Bhakti Lata? Is it watering the seed or watering your anarthas, your desires? Then what happens? The desires, they appear exactly like Bhakti Lata, but they are weeds. One has to be consciously careful about this. Otherwise, the weeds will choke the Bhakti Lata. Yeah, you might have heard. Then what it will do? It's called abhasa, reflection. You'll think it appears like Bhaktilata. By this time, if you're already a very well-versed speaker, if you're already, a good singer, and you develop faith on your abilities, that's a problem. One has to really always check himself or herself. What are my motives? Anya Bilashita Sunyam. Anytime Prabhu Goswami speaks for the definition of bhakti, we should be, I'm very grateful that you're all sitting here. ISKCON preaches pure bhakti only. Straight Prabhu Goswami, pure Deva Bhakti definition, Anya Bilashita Sunyam. The moment we have Abhilasha, we have other desires, it means your bhakti seed is tainted and you're watering it. And you're watering it means we are thinking I'm practicing bhakti only. Hey, I got the Brahmin initiation. Can you see the Brahmin thread? Brahmin initiation also, no. But what type of seed are you growing? How many of you seen, some fruits, when you open it up inside, there is the seed itself, there is an insect. How many of you seen? In mangoes, practically more or less every fruit. So, there is an insect in the seed itself. How it got in there? So, if we have political motives, social motives, philanthropical motives, then what happens? It appears like Bhakti Lata, but it is a reflection. It appears a reflection, a bhasa Bhakti Lata. Then what happens? So it appears Bhakti, but it's not Bhakti. Especially two. We are thinking it's pure Bhakti, but it's not. It is not. So, even if Guru has given you, Krishna has given you, Shastra study has given you the pure thing, but you are adding your desires to color that seed. We color that seed by the desire for sense enjoyment. Second thing is, this is what's called karma bija. And the another way we taint it by, back to God at jana hai. Bhurijan Prabhu says this, we want to go back to Godhead to avoid suffering, but not to go and serve there. Yesterday somebody told, past 12 years I am trying for H1, Finally came to America through L1. Came to America through L1. Somehow jana hai udhar. So one devotee joked. So finally I came to America. Even if I don't go back to God, I had no problem. Because, that Disneyland I came, right? And I came back to spiritual world. So the original spiritual world, even if I don't go, no problem. I'm satisfied because I achieved the perfection. Because America I came. Anyway, let me not joke, but if somebody wants to attain liberation, especially, impersonal liberation, that is actually Jnana Bija. These two will taint the what do you call it? The Bhakti Lata. So what to do? At any point we correct. Then what happens? The weeds will be uprooting. Otherwise, weeds will grow parallelly. Sometimes actually the main Bhakti Lata will not grow and the weeds will grow and choke the plant and kill the plant also. So that's why it's very, then what happens? Based on our nourishment of whether it is weed or colored seed, whatever, our behavior reflects. Our chanting also reflects actually. Our sadhana basically. So then what happens? Even though there will be so many people listening Bhagavatam, we all interpret in our own way because of the conditioning in bhakti. That's why Kapila Muni speaks of bhakti in the mode of ignorance, bhakti in the mode of passion, bhakti in the mode of goodness. There itself, three modes. It's bhakti. Everyone accepts Krishna as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Everyone is doing sadhana only, but still it's a tamogun bhakti, it's a rajagun bhakti, it's the sattvagun bhakti. So what should we do? What should we do? Vaishnava seva and sincere sadhana. And aim for, in sadhana, aim for namaruchi. Then what happens? But if you sincerely try, keep on trying, one day Krishna will help. Help us improve the situation. That's what I want to speak. But Krishna is always there for us. Because the Prabhupada says, Krishna helps those who help themselves. In other words, if you are sincere, Krishna will help. Sincere means sincerity in motives. Sincerity in motives. Even if we may not be able to do great things, if we are sincere in our motives. One time one devotee said, I want to become a guru in ISKCON. When sannyasi said, that's a very good, very wonderful, though it's not ultimate. Why? You live as a guru, that standard you live, then you will not do nonsense. But if you continue like this, one day Krishna will purify you. Krishna will purify you, and you'll lose that desire also. Ramacharya should always, that same sannyasi said, you should always, try to live on the platform of a sannyasi. Means strict. No, one should sincerely practice bhakti, because we are given the process for attaining pure bhakti. We are given pure bhakti process actually. So even if we have impurities, even if we have unwanted desires, if our aspirations are pure, one day we'll attain that perfection. That's what I want to tell. Excuse me if I've spoken anything wrong. Thank you very much for your patient attendance. Any question or comment?
In the purport, actually, it is mentioned that Krishna has likes and dislikes. So, will that create happiness and distress to Krishna based on, like, if he likes something, will that create like happiness, and something that he doesn't like, will that create distress to Krishna also? Like, Krishna is beyond.
Krishna is transcendental. So because we are in three modes, we feel like that. Happiness and distress are there with us. No, Krishna is transcendental. What is that? You feel separation. Where is Krishna? Where is Krishna? You feel separation from Krishna. Intense separation from Krishna. Krishna is not there. Gulab Jamun is there, you feel happy. Gulab Jamun is not there, you distress. Right? Krishna is not like that. So that's why I gave this example. Where is the Krishna? Gopis are feeling separation. That separation is a height of enjoyment, a height of happiness. Right? Krishna is not there crying. Lord Chaitanya, what's intense ecstasy, vipralama bhav. So, what is that? No, Krishna is transcendental. Krishna has, I'm seeing where I read likes and dislikes. Anyway, definitely Krishna has feelings. No doubt. Prabhupada, first word is Krishna's feelings. And Krishna is there, definitely. But Krishna is transcendent. So all these things become because of the three modes. When it is tamagun, then there is stress. Krishna is above all these things. Raso Vaisaha. He's full of mellows. And Krishna means Sadanandam. Eternally is his reservoir of pleasure, happiness. Everything gives him pleasure only. Any other question?
We were explaining about because of suffering, we don't want we want liberation, right? So how can we come out of this? Because as I'm growing older, it's like so many sufferings are coming to the body. We are focusing only on that, like sufferings only, just not able to come out on the other side, like developing taste for chanting, developing service attitude to the Vaishnavas. How we can transform that state, succumb to that suffering stage, and then we have to do our responsibilities in the same condition also sometimes. How we can come out of that feeling, okay, because of suffering.
We all came to Bhakti, Artho Jijnas Radharthi Jnanich. But 90% of ISKCON devotees, they come to Bhakti because of Artho, distressed. I don't think anybody came to Bhakti because of, some desire, green card chahiye, so let us go to Krishna. Or some people come out of inquisitiveness to learn philosophy. Some people come just to learn more about eating prasad. But 90% of devotees distressed. Before coming to Krishna consciousness, something goes wrong in their life. So much distress. In that battered situation, you hear Kirtan, oh wow, or you come to temple, you see really Krishna. So then what happens? That becomes an impetus. Then they say you can go back to God. There is a spiritual. Wow, really? This itself is giving me relief. That will give us further relief. Actually, we are all scared of pain. Then when there is a medical department called pain management, these doctors are paid very high, almost equal to this what do you call, or maybe more, plastic surgery. More or less they are also paid that much. Because we are all scared of pain. Yes or no? That will be there until we transcend the bodily platform. As long as we are Ahankar is the rope that binds the soul to the body, subtle body to the gross body. Then we experience the changes that we go through on the body level. We feel it, we are going through that. Yes, everyone has that fear, no doubt. But as we sincerely go forward on the path of bhakti, that's why Vaidhi Bhakti means, mind is not listening. And I'll give you an example. Listen. One time when Mataji, she got cancer, and I told her this. I want everyone to hear. I told her, increase your chanting. Sincerely you chant. And is a common statement for anybody actually. But I gave her an example. And after giving that example, and I told her, that's why increase your chanting. You'll come out of the bodily platform and you'll spend your body less, I said. And you want to hear that example? So one day, I had a boil on my tongue. This much boil. So much pain. So much pain means even if I go, the thought of eating food, would give me fear actually. And in that miserable situation, suddenly Radhashtami appeared. And I felt very bad. Why? Radhashtami is so much prasad, I cannot eat. Then what happened? So Radhashtami afternoon, Radharani is very merciful. Our fasting ends by afternoon, right? So, but they said, feast is in the evening, afternoon not so much. I ate, every time this will go and touch the, one of the teeth and pain. If this is this much pain, actually, literally I was so scared of eating food actually. So at 7 o'clock, Kirtan was ecstatic, jumping and dancing, amazing Kirtan. So then what happened? I danced so much. I went outside and lied down on the grass. Then suddenly this tongue went and touched the tooth. And then immediately, array, no pain. No pain. Array. Afternoon also this was there. Radharani's mercy, what it cured or what? Because I danced, she healed it or not. Then what I did like this. No pain. Great. So because I have to eat all these wonderful sweets, Radharani became, very merciful and she removed it. You're listening, right? The real story actually. And I did like this. They said, no pain. Wow, cute. But I was lying down there recovering. We all should know. I used to do fundraising had one time, congregation development had so many donors came. I have to take care of my donors. When my came, little pain. That my means, but still that was not that much pain. I went and ate very nicely, The next day morning pain was not. The moral of the story is because of so much ecstatic dancing, your consciousness shifted from bodily platform to mental platform to intellectual platform to soul platform. So because I just came out of that, it was there. Then yours. Okay, if you want, I'll give you an example. Many times your finger is cut. And you come to the Bhagavatam class, your pain, suddenly somebody cracks a joke, the speaker, you start laughing. The pain is not there. Your consciousness shifted from body level to mental level. Or you work in the garden whole day, you come back and wash your feet. Suddenly you feel there's a pain here, this is some scratch. You don't know that it was there. How many of you had this experience? Your consciousness was elsewhere. Actually, most of the time our consciousness is mental. Except for brushing our teeth, taking bath, eating, that time only we are in the physical platform. So the way the joke is bringing you to the platform of mind, by chanting the holy name, you can even go further to the platform of a soul. That's why I didn't feel pain. Everyone is listening or not? I told her, do chanting nicely. That way you will not use your body. Your consciousness. Why devotees after chant? If you chant so Prabhupada disciples who came to Bhakti at the age of 20, 60 also they look young. So they're not spending the body. That's a good word. A person who is consciously in the physical body platform, I am this body, then you're utilizing it. I told her, not here. Just you do that way, your consumption of the body, the spreading of virus, the cancer will be slowed down. I told this to many people actually. First time I'm speaking about this. So the moral is, if you sincerely do that, Prabhupada, there only. Prabhupada diabetes actually. And one day Prabhupada was going, Prabhupada fell down. Prabhupada just got up and walked out. Prabhupada never complained. You don't see Prabhupada saying everywhere, when some gurus come, sannyasi brahmacharis come, they'll send their, prasadam menu. No sugar, no sweets, no fried, like this. No problem. Powdered sugar. Sprinkle the powdered sugar in the puri. Prabhupada diabetes is just, Prabhupada is on that level. He's using the body. So once we understand, actually now Anardhanivritti stage onwards, Maya starts leaving us. As you're going to Nishta Ruchi Asikti Bhava Sthayi Bhava Prema, So you'll become slowly free from the influence of Maya. Then that's why even Ellaptva Chapre Lavam Manyatana Adhikam Tata. If you make little progress in path of bhakti, that gives you so much encouragement. Even if you have got the position of CEO, that will not make you that much happy. But here, you'll get little control. But bhakti yogi should focus not on gaining grip over the elements, but gaining the mercy of Krishna. That's what bhakti yogis do. But Ashtanga yogis and all what? They start gaining grip. Then they bring ahankara. They'll try to walk on the waters, But in our case, we utilize it to make progress in bhakti. That is how our desire to go back to Godhead is not because I want to avoid pain, but because I want to serve. Because there is so much happiness in service. Does it answer your question? Any other question or comment? Otherwise, we'll end it. It's a little late actually. Anyone wants to add any comment in the online?
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, Dandavat.
Prabhuji, can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji, thank you so much, Prabhuji. Such an amazing hope-giving class. I have a question in this aspect, Prabhuji. When we understand that, devotees who are advanced, they are fearless. But here we see Mother Earth was frightened. So how do we understand this aspect, Prabhuji?
Maybe you should answer that.
Prabhuji, please, Prabhuji.
That's why I said, one is definitely Leela. The second thing is, to intensify the pastime. Krishna has feelings. So likewise, Krishna's devotees also has feelings. But what is that? I'm reading what you said, He rose out of water just as. I agree with you. Fear comes because of the bodily consciousness. Bhayam ditya abhiniveshitasya ishadvetasya pariyasmriti. So usually in the material state, fear comes by the absorption in the bodily consciousness. But Mother Earth, that too, she is in the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I cannot think of anything other than intensifying. Like in the what is it? Supreme Lord has this 5 primary rasas and 7 secondary rasas. Bhayanaka, Bhivatsa, all these things are there. So the feelings are there in the spiritual world, but they are not exactly like maybe the fear in this world is a perverted reflection of the fear of the spiritual world, but I can safely add, this is a part of the Leela of the Supreme Lord. That's it. If anyone wants to add anything other than that, I'm definitely okay with that. Because Mother Earth is also internal energy, internal energy of the Lord. And she's in the presence of the Lord, in order to intensify the pastime. Actually, that's what I said. There's gopis, for example. What is his name? This Vichasar. When he came, that Radhakunda was created. What is the demon's name? When Arishtasar came, some mothers, they had miscarriages. When when demons come, Krishna's friends are scared. Ananda Chinmaya Rasa. So the internal energy acts there. You don't see Sridhama, Sudama, Madhumangal stop Krishna. Oh, one demon is coming. Oh, now let us enjoy. This guy fell down. 1, Krishna 1. This demon 2, 3. Not like that. There is an intense pastime. what is a crane? Crane.
Bakasura.
Bakasur. Or when Bakasur came and Bakasur swallowed Krishna, everyone fainted. When Arishtasur came, and ladies had miscarriages, and Krishna's friends, when they would come, when they were caught in the forest fire, yes, they had faith in Krishna, but they became definitely scared. So it is Ananda Chinmaya Rasa Prabhu. So the internal energy acts to sweeten the pastime. That way you relish it. So otherwise, Bakasur starts, Bakasur or Arishtasur, they start, practically killing everybody. No, this is only pastime, nothing will happen. Even if body is shattered into pieces, Krishna will reconstruct everything. This is like a robotic, robot pastime. No. So the Supreme Lord is an Anand Chinmaya Rasa, and internal energy acts so that there's a perfect, beautiful, wonderful episode, that would manifest. This is more or less in the same lines, Prabhuji. Okay.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That was very convincing, Prabhuji. And personally, Prabhuji, thank you so much for sharing the contemporary examples of devotees, Prabhu. That was very hope-giving. Very grateful, Prabhuji.
Trying to cut and paste. So we'll end it here. Thank you very much. And we'll if I have spoken anything wrong, okay. So what is it? Our Achyuta Gopal Prabhu has one more question. Yes, Prabhuji.
This path is very difficult, and there are so many dangers. And as I said, to be sincere, the attitude should be good. So many good qualities should be there to progress in this path. So, can you please tell me how to develop and how to remain focused? There are so many challenges with this.
So last one I heard, how to remain focused. That was the one before you asked.
This qualities, there are so many qualities one needs to have proper attitude in this path.
Can you give the phone to him? So first one you answer, second one how to remain focused. How to develop good qualities you answer.
No,
And
how should one I mean, asking for myself, how should I develop those qualities? Because it's easy to get carried away.
I have a theoretical answer because I don't have any good qualities. But recently I was telling, in the entire Chaitanya Charitamrita, Raghunath Das Goswami mentioned so many wonderful qualities, so many pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So exhibition of the ecstasies actually. But Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, humility. He compares himself to the worm in the stool. As we are touching the end chapters of Chaitanya Charitamrita, his humility, he touches new and new levels actually, new heights. What is that? Vaigunya Kedakatam Pasinya Pranapedam Dainyarna Nimagnoham Sri Chaitanya Vaidyamasraye. My body is filled with the germs of mental activity, and I have boils of envy. For that reason, I am drowned in the ocean of sorrow, and for that reason, I have taken shelter of the Supreme Doctor Lord Chaitanya. And if you go further, I am a worm in the stool. Nobody should see me, nobody should talk my name. Means he doesn't want a credit for the book he has written, this wonderful epic, Chaitanya Charitamrita. He says, I am very bad, but you should read Chaitanya Charitamrita, latent perfection. So then anyway, the moral is, when we develop humility, then that will facilitate other things. I told myself when I read it, I don't have, you have it actually. And what is that? Devaki represents pure bhakti, Kamsa represents fear of material existence. As long as Devaki is scared of Kamsa, fear of material existence, Supreme Lord will kill all the anarthas, the Shadgarbhas, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Muhammad, Matsari. Then Guru will come into a picture, Balramji. Guru will take you to Krishna. So until that point, till the last point, Devaki was scared of Kamsa only. Or should be scared of material existence. 18th chapter Gita says, by my mercy, Arjuna, you will overcome all the obstacles. What is that? Mat prasadat mayachyut. Machita Saradurgani, right. What is the sloka? Machita Saradurgani? So by my mercy, this material world is difficult for anybody. Or unless you are very focused, unless you access Paramatma instructions, it's not easy. 97-98% of the time we are in mind platform. Mind platform means what? You are acting on your karma, that's it. Intellectual platform means you are accessing the grace of Paramatma. It's difficult. That's why what is that? Hari, Guru, Vaishnava. So we need the grace of these three. Krishna, what is it? Arambakari Mangalacharan. What is Shamshir? What is the verse? Forgot. You also quoted recently. You need the grace of Hari, Guru, and Vaishnavas. So you need the mercy of Krishna, Lord Guru, spiritual master, and Vaishnavas. Arambakari Mangalacharan. Hari Guru. Vigna Vinasha. So if you have the grace, they will remove all the obstacles. First chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishna Das Karajas. But one thing is, we should be scared of the material existence, the way Devaki is scared of Kamsa. Then only all the another circle. It's not easy for sure. But then as long as we are sincere, we come under the grace of, we come under the protection of Krishna. One lecture I heard, you have to expressly tell Krishna, my Lord, I'm your servant. You can please take care of me. You have to tell, like one lecture, actually one time what happened, everyone was told, you go in front of Radha Vrindavan Chandra and say, you express, my Lord, I am your servant. Please, you can do whatever you want to do, but please keep me at your shelter. When you say like that, Krishna waits for that line. We all said that. From that day onwards, your boat will reach the shore one day to the lotus feet of Krishna. But your boat will go not the way you want, the way Krishna wants. But should be ready for that. That's what I can tell. Focus, sadhana is very important. Stay in the association of devotees who have Sambandha Gyan, and or we are trying to develop Sambandha Gyan, or stay with the devotees who are determined to pursue path of bhakti seriously. That's actually very important. We should hang on with devotees who are very serious. If not serious, serious and sincere, both. Then we'll go far. That's my 2 cents. You want to add anything other than that? Please add. Go ahead. Okay. So we'll end it now. Thank you very much. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.